Good evening. Welcome to a series of live interviews with some of the Theatre by QE2 entertainers and comedians in collaboration with Big Fish Comedy. And that's where we're going to be tonight, comedy, in just a few moments. First of all, though, thank you to Theatre by QE2 to book my show, H2 Productions and Big Fish Comedy. And thanks, Nigel. Press the buttons in the right order. And I need to hark back to last night. We were talking to Robin Parsons. He's going to be on board the QE2 later in the year with his MJ History show. He is Michael Jackson. Now, for a pair of tickets to go see the show, we asked you to tell us the name of Michael Jackson's ranch. No Peter Pan clues needed. Neverland was the answer. Big congratulations to Candice Marsden as well. We'll be in touch with your prize. Don't forget, tonight, there's going to be another chance to win tickets to go to another upcoming show for free in conjunction with Big Fish Comedy. Tonight's guest is Sonja J Salmon. She'll be back on stage soon to entertain and enlighten Dubai's comedy goers. Before we go any further, though, just to give you an idea of who Sonja is before she is here larger than life, here she is on stage.
And I was dancing on this dance floor, and this bloke came up to me and said to me, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm 5'8". I'm just a shoe. He says, "I'm dyslexic." I said, "It's all right. I'll talk to anyone, mate." He said, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "Well, I'm a comedian." He said, "Go on then, change colour."
That's the second time I've heard that gag today, and I'm still laughing. It's so silly, but I'm really pleased to welcome Sonja J Salmon to the show. Sonja, nice to see you.
Can't believe you're laughing at the gag. Yeah, nice to see you, Tim.
It's just one of those where I think, oh, that's so daft. I can't stop laughing, and I'm still giggling. Just bear with me. So how are you? How have you been? How's lockdown been for you?
Yeah, it's been good actually. Well, except for the homeschooling part of it, but it's been fine. I think we've got a little bit set in our ways now, haven't we, with this lockdown? We've all got quite busy. At first, none of us knew what to do. Now we're quite comfortable and we found things to do. So I'm enjoying the family time though, Tim. That's special, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, do you find, like me, that you've got more friends, more Zoom friends than you have real friends, if you like?
Zoom. We missed out on getting a deal with Zoom. We should have got shares in that before it all went viral. Zoom is great. Honestly, it's the new out. It's the new in, isn't it? So,
yes, so it is.
It's like everybody gets set up. Honestly, once a week, we do a family quiz with my family back in the UK because I come from a really, really big family. I've got 6 brothers and 1 sister. I'm number 7. And my children set up for the quiz like 15, 20 minutes beforehand. They've got their nibbles, they've got a shandy, but only a little bit here. And they've got all this stuff all set there. And this is like now become a tradition. On a Sunday, we do quiz with the family in the UK, and it's brilliant. We're on there for 2 hours, having a laugh, and they've probably engaged with the family more over Zoom than we've ever done before, because obviously being out here, we don't get to see them as much as we'd like to.
We see that's the thing with Zoom. It's a funny old thing, lockdown. Well, look, I want to talk a little bit about you. You're based here in Dubai, but you are I was going to say veteran comedian. I don't mean that. I'm going to say experienced comedian.
Yeah.
What brought you to this region?
Well, can I just say about this picture first, Tim? I know before I say about the region. Don't my boobs look big in this picture? Look.
I'm not looking.
Anyway, so to come to the United Arab Emirates, we came here 5 years ago with my husband and our 2 boys. My husband's an air traffic controller. He used to be in the Royal Air Force. I used to call him my SAS lover, in and out, and I didn't know he'd been. It's amazing. And he works in a military base up in Abu Dhabi. I know they get worse, Tim. And he works up in a military base up in Abu Dhabi. So we came out here for his job, and I'd retired as a comedian before we moved here. So I came here with no sort of intentions to do anything really.
Right.
And then I sort of fell into it.
What were you going to do then, Sonja? I mean, had you actually just thought, no, I'm hanging up the comedy boots. That's it. No more.
Well, we had two young boys. My husband was working in Saudi Arabia for 2 years before we came here. And I was back in the UK with two very young children, 18 months and 2.5 years old. I couldn't really go and do what I was doing before. So something had to give. And it was me being a comedian that gave. So I probably retired before I was ready, if that makes sense. So that's probably why I'm enjoying it now. If I'd retired and I was like, yeah, that's it, I'm finished, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
What was it that got you into comedy? What dawned on you, and when, that you could actually be funny?
Tim, I never said I was funny.
No,
So,
did I?
So now, so are you talking about how I got into comedy?
Yeah, when you first sort of realised this is something I quite like to do, because it's not a natural course, is it, as a career?
No, not at all. And when I was a comedian, I never told anyone I was a comedian. So you'd meet people at a party. I'd be with my husband, who was in the Royal Air Force at the time. I'd be going to like a sergeant's mess ball or something, and people go, "Oh, what do you do?" And I go, "Oh, I work in an office." I'd make it as boring as possible, because if I told them I was a comedian, they'd be like, "Oh, tell me a gag." So I got into comedy through my brother. Really, I started as a dancer. And I'd never really been, that was in the background. And then I gave up dancing and I went and got a proper job. I used to work for the Mail on Sunday, which is a national newspaper back in Great Britain. So any Brits watching will know who that is. And I used to write for my brother. And my brother was always trying to get me to go on stage and to do comedy and to sing and stuff like that. But I just didn't have the guts to do it. And then very sadly, on February the 11th, 1995, my brother went to go and watch Watford play football. And he died of a massive heart attack on the pavement outside the Hornets souvenir shop. And it was just a massive, there was no saving him, God bless him. And so then, after his death, I thought, okay, I'm going to try and do something that my brother wanted me to do. So I sold the house. I said goodbye to the boyfriend. I jacked the job in. I bought a PA system. I knew 2 gags and 3 songs, and off I went. And I was terrible.
And it was,
but I had a go.
It was, but it was because the confidence that your brother, I guess, instilled in you. He had that faith that he knew you could do it and you could be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where he got that confidence from. He used to come. When I started doing it, he would make me do talent competitions, and my brother would watch. He would come to every single talent competition I did, and he supported me in everything. He truly believed that I could do it. He knew more than I did at the time, and so yeah, that's what got me into comedy.
So okay, so you've got that kind of extra little bit of impetus, bit of confidence from your brother. You've sold the house, got rid of the boyfriend, bought a PA system, I guess in that order.
Yep.
And you walk out on stage for the first time. You've got your brother obviously in your thoughts, and whether you're thinking it or not, you're kind of doing it for him and you. What was it like?
My first ever time in front of sort of a proper audience was at a Haven holiday park at Donovan Bay and Donington Bay, and it was a huge audience, and I was the last act on a showcase, and they had all been drinking all day, and I think we were with a live band called Five Jacks. And they read from dots and they play for you and everything. And literally everybody had given up, like with the audience, because the audience by this time had seen about 15 acts. And I think I was the 16th act on. And it's really weird. I didn't feel nervous because I'd been there for like about 5 hours waiting to go on. And then I finally got on, and there were three guys in the audience that were giving everybody else a bit of grief, and heckling them in the showcase, which is not the best thing to do, but because there's bookers and agents there, you know, trying to get work out of. And they were giving everybody a bit of grief. And I don't know. I was the only one that went back at them. I literally was on stage and I said, right, no one's had a go at you, but don't start on me because I will go back at you. And that's exactly what I did. And so my little 12-minute spot turned into like 20 minutes. And then the next thing I know, there was a guy there called Peter Allen, who was the biggest booker for Born Leisure. And he booked me to do a summer season for Haven and Born Leisure, doing 6 nights a week across all their holiday parks. And I had to do a 45-minute show. I only had 15 minutes. So I spent the whole summer learning to do a 45-minute show.
What was the secret to that? Was that beginner's luck? Was that confidence? Was it bravado? Was it preparation? How did that come about?
I think it was a lot of luck, you know. I mean, literally nobody had a go at these three guys, and I think it's about handling the audience and you know, coming across to the audience and being like natural with the audience and everything. And I was just having a bit of banter with the audience, which nobody had really done. And I suppose it was just luck, really. But it really was funny. I did this one place, right, in a place called Woolacombe Bay. And it had an entertainments director who used to wear a bow tie to work. And he used to put what was like Bisto gravy on his head to look like he'd got hair. And every time he shook his head, like it all like came off, and you were like, oh. And his name was Mike Swan, and he's got, oh yeah, all right, here we go. But he was a real vaudeville guy, and I was there every single week for the whole summer season of like, you know, 5 months. And he used to watch me every week, and every time he'd go, and I always remember on the last night I was there, because he used to tell me, take that out, put this in. Stop that, you're a comedian. Put this in, put that in. And then on the last night, I was due to go out and perform. He came into the dressing room and he went, right, listen to me. You were the worst bloody cabaret act I've ever employed in my life. He said, but you've been listening and you're learning. And he went, never stop listening, never stop learning. He said, now go out there and get them. And I went, great, thanks, Mike. and off I went. But I never forgot him. He taught me so much.
That's advice. Just a very quick thing, Sonja. We're going to do the competition now. So 2 of 6 tickets here, courtesy Big Fish Comedy, Theatre by QE2. Book my show as well to go and laugh at and with Sonja J Salmon. Here's tonight's question. Comment in the feed you're watching. Who is the famous comedy partner of Bobby Ball? Going to be in town soon as well. Drop your answer in the comments where you're watching to win, and we'll announce the winner tomorrow night. And don't forget, you have to be watching to win. Follow us on social media, Big Fish Comedy, Theatre by QE2, and book my show for more chances to win as well. Sonja J Salmon, let me ask you this. In your early days, I mean, I guess your hero, if that's the right word, the person you really looked up to, must have been your brother.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. He was my hero in a lot of ways, but obviously in terms of comedy, he was like my ultimate hero. But along with my brother, I obviously like the older school type pieces. I love Peter Kay. I love Kathy Burke. I love Victoria Wood. I love French and Saunders, Morecambe and Wise, Cannon and Ball. All of these people, you just can't get better than these guys. They're just classic comedy as far as I'm concerned.
What about I don't want to use the phrase more modern, but comedians working today, I don't know if I mean alternative or just comedians working in the now, as it were. Who do you really think's got it at the moment?
Oh, you know, Russell Howard is doing really, really well at the moment, and Kerry Golliman is really, really good. And there's a great comedian that I like called Scott Bennett, and I think Scott Bennett he's not as well known now, but I think he'll come through. And one of my all-time favourites that I think he should absolutely be on television is a comedian in Great Britain called Tucker. He's just a really, really funny comic, and I remember Bobby Ball saying to me, you know, there's two types of comics. There's a comic that says funny things, and there's a comic that says things funny. Tucker does both. He is just hilarious. So I would like to see him sort of coming up through the ranks.
I want to ask you about a couple of moments in your comedy career and get back to you as a comedian in your journey, for want of a better word. But let's do your best, worst moment now. The moment where you've thought, oh no, why did I choose this as a career?
So what, worst gig?
I guess, yeah, worst gig or worst moment on stage even, where you just knew, this is not going to work.
Okay, so two worst moments that come to mind. There was a time, I've got a lot of friends in Peterborough, so hi to everybody if you're watching in Peterborough. I remember doing a gig in a place called Wisbech. Now, Wisbech, for anybody that doesn't know, is out in the Fens. And to give you an indication, if you walk up to someone in Wisbech and you say to them, hey, give me 5, they're likely to give you 6. So I remember being on stage, and I'd done this opening of this big club, and it was like tumbleweed. You know, just nothing was going well. I was trying all these different angles and trying these, you know, go up a gear, come down a gear. And I had some friends there, and I kept looking at them going, I think we might have to leave this in a minute. And then I thought, okay, you get to a point on stage where you think, I'm just going to entertain myself. So I was just on stage, and I just turned around to the audience. I just went, if at first you don't succeed at skydiving, well, that's it. Nothing.
0.
So I carried on, 0. And so I carried on for like about 3 minutes. Then all of a sudden there was someone at the back of the room that just went like that, stuck his hand up like this. I went, and I went, oh, yes. Hello. Did you want to ask me something? And he went, you'd be dead. And I went, thanks very much. Start the car. Good night. We're off. And it was like, right, there's a time where you have to go, no, that's it. Another time, if I'm allowed to mention one other, and it came to mind just now, is there's a football club called Forest Green in the UK.
Yes.
And, right, so I was booked to go down there and do a show at their big awards ceremony down at Forest Green. It was Bank Holiday Monday. The traffic was a nightmare. Normally I get to a gig like a good 3 hours, or we were there like half an hour before I was due on stage. And I got there and it was all very quick and rushed. And I walked on stage and they were absolutely batter-stooted. Absolutely. And as a comedian, you cannot have a conversation with a drunk person. You cannot entertain a drunk person. And it was a case of this was a real battle. But I stayed on there. I was booked to do 45 minutes. And I thought, no, you can suffer. I'm going to stay on here for 45 minutes because I've been booked to do 45 minutes and I'll stay here. And I did. And I remember, and it was a really, really tough gig. And I remember coming off and I went to the bar and Chris Kamara was at the bar and made a beeline for me. And he came over, and he's a lovely man. And he came over and made a beeline for me and just shook my hand and said, you have got the biggest set in this whole room. He said, because none of us would have tried to have attempted to take that crowd, because it must have been about 1,500, 2,000 people in the room. And he went, no one would have attempted to have taken them on. And he said, but the sober ones of us were like laughing like hell. Unfortunately, there just weren't that many of them. But I always remember that, because Kamara coming up to me at the end of the night and just going, spot on. But it was a tough gig.
It's interesting that, because of those two best worst moments, if you like, there were lessons, I suppose, and you learn all the time. What about your best ever live moment? The moment where you thought, this was such a great decision. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
There was this agent, this manager back in the UK called Wally Dent, and he was a gentleman of the industry, very well respected, and he had a lot of the big comedians on his books when they were all starting out. Joe Pasquale, Jim Davidson, a lot of really big comedians, and everybody knew Wally Dent. He was very well respected, and I was desperate to get onto his books and to be managed by him. But for 5 years, he kept saying, no, you're not ready, no, you're not good enough. And he used to come out and watch me once a year and go, no, you're not ready. And then he gave me a spot on his showcase at a place. I don't know if you know this, Tim. It's a place called Lakeside in Frimley in Surrey. And it's where they do the World Darts Championships. Yeah. A great cabaret venue. And it's, it has a lot of events there. Anyway, there must have been 2,000, 2,500 people in the audience, all bookers, all agents. And so you have a whole showcase of different acts. And I went on stage. My mum and dad was sat in the front row. And I did my 15 minutes and I got a standing ovation, which is completely unheard of amongst like bookers and agents and that. It's like your peers. If you went, I don't know, if you went to a radio convention and everybody stood up for your broadcast, it would be like a real sort of recognition of who you are because your peers have stood up. So for me, that sort of cemented that I was on the right path and that I was doing the right thing. And also, Wally put me on his books after that because there were quite a few people there trying to book me. So he knew where his commission was laid,
Wally knew which side his bread was buttered, that's for sure. So that's like validation. Yeah. I mean, I want to go beyond that and go a little bit further than that and I've got a little video clip that I just want to share because you can also sing, Sonja J Salmon.
That's Dubai life. Funny as it seems, expats arriving, head full of dreams. The glitz, the glamour, that's all they see. They might think different, now we've got VAT.
So not only that, you can also croon as well.
Croon.
You're also
croon. I've never been called
a potential crooner. Is that maybe the next stage in your career?
No. No. do you know what, Nigel? I started off as a singer. When I went and did that showcase, down at Donovan Bay, when I went down and did that showcase, I went down as a singer. And then over that summer season with Mike Swan turned into a comic. So I started as a singer, but I was rubbish. So ended up going into comedy. But I enjoy singing. I can hold a tune. I wouldn't call myself a singer. I've worked on many shows and many ships where there's phenomenal singers, and you're stood in the wings waiting to go on, and they've just like absolutely annihilated the audience with this massive song, and then you go, oh hi, only me, and you're walking out and it's just that's a singer. So do you know what, it goes down to entertainment, doesn't it? Being a comedian, it's people like people, and then you say to someone, why do you like that comic? And you go, because I like the way they are. I like their personality. I like how they are on stage. I like how they talk to me. I think the whole thing about being a comedian is about entertaining the audience. And if you've got something that's funny or entertaining, do it. It's variety.
And
It's comedy.
it is, and it's thinking about the audience, isn't it? Let's think about our audience for just a second, because there are tickets to see the show on board the QE2 from Big Fish Comedy, from Book My Show, and from Theatre by QE2. 2 tickets from whichever feed you're watching. And here's the question. Who's the famous comedy partner of Bobby Bull in town soon? Drop your answer in the comments where you're watching to win, and we'll announce the winner tomorrow night as well. Don't forget to follow us on social media: Big Fish Comedy, Theatre by QE2, and Book My Show. There are more chances to win there. Sonja J Salmon here tonight. I want to talk about some of the people that you've worked with, because I saw some pictures this afternoon, Sonja, and you've worked with some really big names. You've got lots of friends in the business of comedy, but it's a picture of comedian, actor, all-round raconteur Shane Ritchie on the left as you look at your screen with
he's not
a
going to
great
forgive me for
80s
that.
mullet. So you're going to have to make an excuse for him, if you would.
Yeah, so this picture looks like it was taken in a bar in Eastcote near Ruislip called Champers. And the one that's photobombing at the back, we're going, oh, that's a guy called Sean Maybury that owned Champers. On the left, you've got Shane Ritchie with that mullet. And then you've got Spud, they're a really good friend. Then you've got Jeff Stevenson, who's in the middle there. If anybody's watched Only Fools and Horses, or even Bugsy Malone, Jeff Stevenson, you'll recognise him from that. And then, of course, on the right-hand side, that's my beloved brother, Mick Salmon. And
Mick
Shane
was great friends with Shane, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. So Shane did an autobiography called Rags to Richie, and he really honoured my brother in the book. Talks a lot about my brother, Mick Salmon, and says how he idolised him and wanted to be like him. And when my brother died, Shane did the eulogy at my brother's funeral. And I remember the night before the funeral, Shane came round to my brother's house, and I was there with his fiance and that. And he asked me, he said, look, I want to do 3 cheers for your brother at the end. Would your mum and dad get upset? And I went, no, they'd love it. And it's really weird. People still now, I mean, there must have been, I don't know, 3,500 people at the funeral. And even now, people talk about Shane Ritchie and the eulogy that he did for my brother. Yeah, they were best mates.
That's Shane and the boys there. There's another photo I wanted to bring up, because I think a lot of people will be very au fait with the man in the white tuxedo in the middle. If you would just reveal his identity, please.
Wow, do you think they'll recognise him?
I think a lot of people will.
Yeah, okay. So the guy sat down in the white tuxedo is a very unknown personality called Bradley Walsh. Now, sorry, my eye keeps watering. Now, Bradley was really, really good mates with my brother. Bradley comes from a place called Kings Langley, just outside Watford, where we come from. My brother's just stood behind him with a mullet. And again, there to the left-hand side, there's Jeff Stevenson. I think they're probably at the Comedians Golf Society ball or something at the Grosvenor, I think, by the look of it. What a lot of people don't know about Brad is that Brad started off as an impressionist, and he used to go round and do all the, when he first started, when he was really young, he used to do the talent competitions around the social clubs and everything, and he used to compete against my brother. And that's how they got to know each other, and they became really, really good mates, and Brad stayed a good friend of the family ever since.
And he's, I mean, I guess to a lot of people, he's, you know, a quiz master extraordinaire these days, but he's a really busy working comic as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but the thing that people don't realise about Brad is he's a brilliant actor. I mean, a brilliant actor. Brad did a lot on stage. He did Blood Brothers. He did a lot of theatre work. And people think Brad's a stand-up comic. He's not a stand-up comic. He just tells funny stories, and he's just a really funny guy, and a really nice guy. And that's what people connect with, I think, with Bradley. And of course, he's been doing Doctor Who in the UK.
Yep.
As well. And what was that detective series they do? I forgot the name of it.
It's one of those that will come to you as soon as we stop talking, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It will do. It's just gone out of my head. It's just gone out of my head. And he's been doing that. And he's absolutely brilliant at that. And of course, yeah, but that was quite a few years ago when they were a bit younger.
Yeah, all-round entertainer. So that's a couple of, I guess, blasts from the past. But I also want to bring up a couple of pictures of you as blasts from the past. Let's see what comes up next. I mean, really, in there, that's a tremendous piece of 80s memorabilia.
Yes, this is me impersonating Bonnie Tyler. This is when I was a dancer. In the 80s. I think I was probably about 20 years old in that picture. Look at that hair. Great hair.
Well, you've made an excuse. It's not a great excuse, but it's a fantastic picture. And there's one more I'd like to bring up as well, and this was really part of your act. And it almost took over your act, didn't it?
Yeah.
There's you on the left.
It did.
And also not you in the mirror.
No, that's my sister. And that's her claim to fame. She's the clown. So yeah, there was one act I used to do, and right at the end of the show, I used to do Sending the Clowns. And so I used to sit down in front of lights, and I used to make myself up as Purio the Clown while singing Sending the Clowns. And it was a showstopper, and people used to literally remember the clown. And then they used to come up to me afterwards, and they used to go, "Oh yeah," they might not have seen me for a year or whatever, and they go, "Oh, you're the one that does the clown, aren't you?" I go, "Yeah," and the 55 minutes worth of comedy that I did before it as well. Yeah. So yeah, it was a bit of a blessing in disguise, I suppose.
Any thoughts of bringing the clown back, maybe for the Dubai show, or that doesn't happen anymore?
We'll think about it.
Oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, we'll think about it. My eyes keep watering.
Look,
I know, what's
Sonja,
going on. My eyes keep watering.
No, I just thought I'd reduce you to tears. I've done that to women before, unfortunately. Look,
yeah, it is, isn't it?
Just let me repeat the competition. Final time tonight to win tickets to see Sonja J Salmon on board the QE2. Comment in the feed you're watching. Just tell us the famous comedy partner of Bobby Bull. It's going to be in town soon as well. To win tickets, 2 from Theatre by QE2, 2 from Book My Show, 2 from Big Fish Comedy. Put your answer in the comments. Now, we'll announce the winners of the tickets to see Sonja here in Dubai tomorrow night. I'll also be chatting to Ian Beattie. Now, let's just say he's a born entertainer. And if you're a Queen fan, you're going to like this. Ian tours the world as Freddie Mercury. Don't forget, we stream every night at 7:30 during the week with entertainers and comedians, care of Theatre by QE2 and Big Fish Comedy. And I just want to say a big, big thanks to Sonja J Salmon for being on tonight. Sonja, it's been really good fun talking to you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Take care, Tim.
Take care. That's it for tonight. Thank you to Theatre by QE2, Book My Show, H2 Productions. Thank you, Nigel, for pressing buttons and stuff, for producing, and of course to Sonja J Salmon, who's going to be in Dubai soon. So that's it. Until tomorrow, stay safe, wear your masks. Good night.